So a few weeks back, I made a video titled The Top 10 WWE Pay-Per-Views to Watch During Isolation/Quarantine. Now, I'm going to further upon that, and instead of doing a part 2, which that'll be coming soon-ish, today I'll be doing the top 5 or 10 or whatever, just WWE Network shows that are worth checking out during quarantine, during isolation, shows which, if you watch them, you're going to end, at the end of the show, be like, oh, that was a good watch. That was worth my time. Okay, I'm going to be specifically recommending and citing shows to avoid. So I've got a big list of shows to avoid at all costs, and I've got a list of shows that are worth watching, and specific, episodes of series which you should go out and watch. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to start off with shows to avoid at all costs, because this is the more entertaining part, and plus, I just need to express how bad these shows are. So, first and foremost, do not watch The Bump at all costs. Avoid that crap, okay? That is all the WWE.com staff who just drink the WWE Kool-Aid. It's so cringe. I watched 15 minutes of one episode. The episode's like an hour and a half. It's just these WWE.com employees sitting in a room, and they're like, it's so forced and disingenuous. Literally, if you watch the product as someone like me, or most of you guys who watch my videos actually have a brain and can see what the WWE are doing with the the political propaganda, the fact they have no clue what they're doing. But on The Bump, they'll make it seem like WWE is all rosy and perfect, and that this is 1999 all over again, and that WWE is great. Literally, this clown Ryan Popola, who, if you remember way back in January when I did my top 10 WWE.com list roast, this guy Ryan Popola, he's on The Bump, he was a part of that, he's cringe. So yeah, The Bump, avoid that at all costs. Avoid the Ruthless Aggression series. This one, they've had, I don't know how many episodes exactly, 5, 6, 7, something like that. It was supposed to be like their 2020 version of the Monday Night Wars series or the WrestleMania series, like that WWE.com, WWE Network, multi-episode big series to chronicle a big thing in their history. But, Ruthless Aggression is just propaganda-filled garbage, saying that they knew the ratings would plummet after Rock and Austin left, and they needed a direction, so they did a brand split, and they try and make it seem all like they had a clue what they were doing, but backstage, they had no clue what they were doing, realistically. Ever since 2001, this company's had no clue what they're doing, so Ruthless Aggression, avoid that at all costs. Avoid Break It Down. Now, they've done 3 episodes of this year. They've done Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, I believe, and Trish Stratus, I think. Avoid that. I've seen bits of 2 of the episodes. Avoid that. That's crap. Avoid Ride Along. Why do you want to see WWE wrestlers, mostly jobbers, because they're hardly going to put a camera in Cena's tour bus, or CM Punk's bus, or, I don't know, Roman Reigns. They don't have Roman Reigns on the show. They have literally Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Ember Moon. Who cares what Ember Moon's saying to Luke Gallows in the car? Just, why is that content? So, who cares about that? Ride-along's garbage. Photo shoot. Avoid photo shoot at all costs. I can't even believe that's a show. And Table for 3. That one's not really avoid at all costs. You can watch that and get some entertainment out of it. I remember the TNA episode they did with Sting, Jarrett, and Styles. That was good, but for the most part, Table for 3 is not the best. So those are the shows to avoid at all costs. As for shows which I recommend you watch during this isolation or quarantine period, WWE 24. That's the best thing they do on the network. Literally. WWE 24, the way they put the documentaries together is so well done. It is second to none the way they put together the 24s. As far as specific ones I recommend, my favorite ones that I've seen, the Edge one that they released a week ago, in WrestleMania week, that was phenomenal. It was an hour and 15 minutes. It went by in the click of the fingers. It was such a great, run in on Edge, and how Edge, he had to retire after WrestleMania 27. You guys know the Edge story, but the way they painted it was so good. How he got into acting, and then, he gradually was doing fight scenes, and he was like, I can do this. And then they show Edge having the medical recovery. Beth Phoenix is all emotional in there. They show, Edge coming back to Toronto for SummerSlam 2019. And then everything to do with the Rumble in 2020. Awesome stuff. It's just Edge training with Dash Wilder, and it's just great. Just watch the 24 special on Edge. That was awesome. I can't recommend it enough. As for other ones, kind of more old ones, like they did earlier this year, they did an R-Truth one. I mean, it was still done really well. Everyone loves Ron Killings, but it wasn't the greatest. And then also they did one WrestleMania 35, which the ones they do about WrestleMania, or like the shows themselves, are fantastic. I love watching them. They did that for WrestleMania 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. Those are some of my favorite things the network have done. Because the way they chronicle like how big WrestleMania is, I love getting the behind the scenes shots of WrestleMania. So like for example, earlier on the day or the day before WrestleMania, let's say 32, because I remember I was watching the 32 one and they were talking about Triple H and they were showing Triple H having to live the lifestyle of Vince, where you're juggling the hat of running a promotion. So in his case NXT. And he has to do his training for his WrestleMania 32 match with Roman. So he's working out in the gym for a while. He has to do the business and the boardroom stuff. He has to run this, that, and the other. So, showing Triple H. And then they show, like, WrestleMania 32. And this is for all the WrestleManias, not just 32. But they'll show, Vince McMahon with his headset on, kind of, being a producer, being a director, telling people where to go. You've got the wrestlers practicing their entrances, which I think that's just awesome to see the behind the scenes of it. Because I don't have to work in the company, but I can still see that footage. I think that's just cool, because I would not want to work in WWE if you paid me 7 figures. The amount of political BS in this company, but just seeing that footage is really cool. Seeing what it means for these wrestlers who've put, 10, 15, 20, hell, 30, 40 years into being this, sports entertainer, this pro wrestler, this WWE superstar, and seeing them at WrestleMania, I think that's really awesome. So check out the WrestleMania ones. As for another WWE 24, Batista, his one was great. I love the Batista one. I'm kind of biased though, because I'm a big Batista fan, but I really love that one. And then I think the Becky Lynch one wasn't too bad. I'm not a big Becky fan myself, but the way they put that together made me like Becky a little bit more. But then again, this was like 6 months ago and they ruined her. So WWE 24, that's the main thing I'd say to go check out. As for other things, Austin's Broken Skull sessions. Now, he's done 5 of them as they're making this video. 3 of them I really enjoyed. 2 of them I did not. Personally, the Bret Hart one, I really enjoyed that because, Bret talked about the screw job for like 30 minutes, and he talked about stuff I hadn't heard before, because personally, I'd watched the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, like, Greatest Rivalries documentary they did in 2011 with JR. That documentary is awesome. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it. But, parents are talking about the screw job with Bret and Austin, and talking about, like, the, backstage kind of stuff, where, like, The Undertaker and all these guys, hung around, and, Bret got out of the shower, and he was, like, basically naked just about, and Vince McMahon, with all his stooges, came over to, like, say sorry, and then, Bret did the uppercut punch to Vince, and then laid him out and all this, and it was really good stuff. And then, from there, they watched the Austin and Bret match from WrestleMania 13, and, Bret was, you can just see how Bret, like, he's so, smart with the business. He, gave that match 4 stars because he just wasn't happy with it, even though it's Bret and Austin, like, one of the best matches ever. So, that was really cool to see, just those 2 guys chatting, that was good. The other ones I liked The Undertaker's one, because it's Stone Cold and The Undertaker talking. Like, who wouldn't want to see that? So, that was really good. That was, like, the first one, I believe. And then, the other one, Big Show, I like the Big Show one. I don't know, I like listening to Big Show talk. The ones I didn't care for, Kane, that was whatever. I didn't really care for Kane. And then the Goldberg one, that was the worst one they've done. So yeah, Austin's Broken Skull sessions, check them out. As far as other shows to watch, WWE Untold. These ones I really like because I watched the Angle HBK one in WrestleMania week. They showcased the WrestleMania 21 match. And I really like what they did there because they had Johnny Gargano, who grew up, as a massive fan of Michaels and Angle, which you can see that in Gargano's in-ring style. Gargano grew up as a big fan of them, so he was just, like, adoring this feud. Back in 2005, he was watching Angle and Michaels go at it, and he just loved it. So hearing him as a passionate fan talk about it, as well as Angle and Michaels talking about, like, what was like to be in that situation. Then you had, like, Triple H on there, and Michael Cole and these guys who were really in the mix of this. So that was awesome. As for other ones, for Untold, Eddie and Ray, their one was really good. Like, all the emotion that went into it, because obviously, as we all know, Eddie, he's deceased, God bless him, but yeah, just hearing Eddie and Ray's one, that was really good. And then the That's Gotta Be Kane one, which was Undertaker, Michaels, and Kane talking about the Hell in a Cell match from 97. That was awesome, so check that out. As far as other shows, WWE Chronicle, this one, especially Drew McIntyre, Like, McIntyre's featured on all these, network shows in the past 3 months, I swear, but McIntyre's one's really good. Sasha Banks and Rey Mysterio. Check out those Chronicle shows. And that's pretty much it. So that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Just a bit of a kind of follow-up to that first video I did about, what to watch during isolation and quarantine for pay-per-views. This one, what network shows to watch, because personally, a lot of these network shows, in my opinion, are terrible, especially The Bump. The Bump's awful, especially Ruthless Aggression, especially Break It Down, Ride Along, Photo Shoot, Table for Three. Like, a bunch of these shows are really bad, but, some of them, the documentary-style ones, are really good. So, yeah, that's been the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and sub. This is just a bonus video because I wanted to make it, and, I think you guys will enjoy it enough. So, hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, sub if you did. See ya.